All right, and welcome back. This is for Math for Business and Finance and Math Application students, and we're continuing on again with Chapter 3 drill problems, the odd number problems, and in our last video we had spent the whole 10 minutes looking at problem 3-43. Again, there was a typo error in the book, so if you didn't see that video, you might want to check that out. Okay. All right, so let's move on to 3-45. Right, it says divide the following and round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so I have 7,742.1, and I'm dividing by 48. And since I'm rounding to the nearest hundredth, I'm going to add a couple of zeros here because remember, this is the tenths place, this is the hundredths place. I need to go to the thousands place in order to be able to round to the hundredth. So 48 into 77 goes once, that's 48. That's 9, that's 29, 294. 48 into 294 goes 6 times, I believe. So that's 48. Count my 4, 24, 28. Good guess. Right, 8 from 14 is 6. Bring down my 2. That's 1. That's 48. 14. 14. Bring down my 1. 48 into 141, 2 times. So that's like 96. That's 5. From 3 is 4. Bring down my 0. That's 48 into 450. I know it's not 10 times because that would be 480. And that gives me 30 as a difference between 480 and 450. So I'm going to say 9 times. So 9 times 8 is 72. Carry my 7. 9 times 4 is 36. And 7 is 43. So my remainder is 18. I'm going to bring down my 0. And 48 into 180, is 3 times. 3 times. 4 times at the max. But since I only need to round to the nearest hundredth, I don't really actually need to figure it out, just as long as I know it's not 5. 5 times 4 is 5 times 40, or 5 times 50, is 250, 200, 250, so I know it can't be 5. It has to be less, so it really doesn't matter what this actual number is because I'm only rounding to the hundredth, and so I'm going to round to 161.29. Okay, that's my answer. Okay. Yeah, I could go and figure it all out and go 3 times 8 is 24. Here on my 2, that's 144. Gives me 6, gives me a remainder of 36 by guessing at 3. But if I wasn't sure and I'm saying 4 times 4, is 160. But remember, I don't need to be playing around with it that much. I can just go, well, I know 5 would mean it rounds up. And if 5 times 4 is 40 is 200, which is greater than 180, I don't need to do anymore. I know I'm going to round down and make my answer 161.29. Okay? Little shortcut, little tricks. Not tricks, it's just thinking and bringing all of your knowledge into play. Okay? And knowing what tool to use at what time. Okay, 3-47. Divide and round to the nearest hundredth. So 260 divide it by 0.381. Right, so I have to move the decimal over 3 places. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And since I need to round to the nearest hundredth, I have to add 3 more zeros because remember, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Since I'm rounding, I need to move it over to there. All right, now let's do the division. Okay, so 381 goes into 260, can't 2600. So 5 times 3 is 15. 6 times 3 is 18. But 6 times 8 is 48, so 18 and 4, 48, 4. 18 and 4 is 22, so I'm going to start out with 6 as a guess. So 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 8 is 48, carry my 4. That's 1822. Let's see if I was right. That's 4, from 9 is 1, from 5 is 3, 314. So that was a pretty good guess. I'm going to bring down my 0. 380, 3 into 31. 3 times 9 is 27. So not too much. 3 times 8. So that's 8. Times 8 is 64. Carry my 6. 3 times 8 is 24 plus 6 is 30. Bring down a 2. That's from 3 is 4. I'm sorry, is 9. So my remainder is 92. Bring down a 0. Let's see, 381 and the 920 2 times. That's 2, 16, 7. That's 8. From 11 is 5, 1. Bring down my 0. 3, 4 is 12. Let's try 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 8 is 32. Carry my 3. 12, that's 15. Another good guess. So I have 6, and from 7 is 5. So I'm at 56 as a remainder. I'm going to bring down my 0 here, this 0. That goes into that one time. 381. It's 9. 8 from 5 is 7. 8 from 15 is 7. And then 3 from 4 is 1. Bring down my next 0. That's going to be, let's see, 4 was 15. All right, so 4 was 1524. Again, I did the math earlier right over here. So that's 6 from 8 is 6, 266. I bring down my final 0. And now, again, we need to round to the nearest hundredth. So 5 and above means I'm going to round up. So if I take and I multiply by 4, I end up with 1524. And I can easily add 381 to that and still be less than 2660. So I know it has to be greater than 4. It's going to be either 5 or better, okay? Which means I would end up rounding up, okay? So my answer is going to be 68, 24, 15 because I'm going to round up, okay? Notice I didn't go and try to actually calculate this out, but I'm going to, just for illustration purposes, let's say this was, I'm going to change color here. Let's say I'm going to make this a 5. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 8 is 40. Carry my 4. Okay, 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 4 is 19. Okay, so you see even 5 is much less than 2660. You know, I might be able to go into this 6 times, right? Or even, let's say, 7 times, maybe. But it really doesn't matter because 5 and up, I'm going to round up, okay? So even if I had just said 5, now if I wanted to know exactly what that is, yeah, I would have to figure out if that number should be a 6 or a 7, but I'm not going to go into that because it's only asking me going to the hundredths. So by determining that my number is actually going to be 5 or greater, I know that I can round up and get my answer over here. Okay. That also leads me to when I look in the textbook says that the answer is 6,824.14. Okay. So yes, that is an error in the textbook. All right. That 4 should be a 5. It should be 15. Because why? I don't know why they didn't round up. Okay. But another typographical error in the book. All right, let's see what we got next here. Yeah, okay, let's try to Now let's stop because I'm at 10 minutes and we'll pick up with 3-49 in the next video.